is the Philippines faces a security challenge in two fronts. Benham Rise in the east and Scarborough Shoal in the west. It used to be only in the west, West Philippine Sea. Cavite partly faces the West Philippine Sea, especially the Maragondon area. Most of Cavite is facing Manila Bay. So this is very important to Cavite. This is very important to the entire Philippine archipelago. And on the other side of the archipelago, this is the east, that's Benham Rise. Now I'd like to start by talking about the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Very important in foreign service because the lead agency when it comes to UNCLOS is the Department of Foreign Affairs. This was negotiated and finalized in 1982 with Senator Arturo Tolentino as our lead personality in the negotiations of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. And here, I hope you can see, pwede ba natin palitin ng konti ito para makita yung taas? Hindi nakikita yung baba. Pwede ba yan? Natatakpan yung ilalim. Is it possible? Can we adjust? Pwede ba natin adjust para hanggang dito lang, hanggang dito lang. Anyway, maliit naman yung room. Anyway, ito yung territorial sea. It delineates our seas. So the first one is territorial sea from the coastline up to 12 nautical miles. That's the territorial sea. And then there's a contiguous zone of 24 nautical miles from the coastline. And very important, in fact, this will be the focus of my presentation, the exclusive economic zone, which is 200 nautical miles. Why is it important? Even though it is farther away, because this is quite big. Ang laki nito. Itong territorial sea is only up to 12 nautical. Yung ano lang, yung gusto ko lang maiangat kasi hindi nakikita sa likod yung. Pwede ba ma-adjust? Hindi pwede? Okay. Anyway, sige. Territorial sea, exclusive economic zone, 200 nautical miles. What is 200 nautical miles? From Luneta, from Ross Boulevard to Corregidor, is about 24 nautical miles. So you can see how far, you can imagine how far 200 nautical miles is. Ganyan kahaba ang 200 nautical miles. So this is now, i-dim natin ng konti yung ilaw. Kunti lang dito banda sa tapat ko. Ayan, okay. Yan, ito yung baseline, no? Ito yung coastline ng Cavite. Ito yung territorial sea. Ito yung contiguous, the exclusive economic zone, all the way. So, exclusive economic zone, ito, and then high seas na yan. Now, what is the exclusive economic zone? I explained that already. And what is important in the exclusive economic zone, we don't have sovereignty in the exclusive economic zone. In other words, hindi natin pwede sabihin na amin yan, no? But we have sovereign rights for the purpose of exploring, exploiting, conserving, and managing the natural resources, whether living or non-living. So, yung natural resources, atin lahat, nobody else can exploit, can explore, and manage the natural resources, living or non-living. So, yung isda, yung oil, yung minerals, kung meron minerals dyan, natural gas, lahat yan atin. Up to the subsoil, hanggang sa ilalim, atin yan. Walang pwedeng gumamit na iba dyan. Ito, the sovereign rights. Ang sovereignty, yung territorial sea atin. Sovereignty, ibig sabihin, we own that. but it's virtual ownership because walang ibang pwedeng gumamit sa natural resources, only the Philippines. Now, how big is our exclusive economic zone all around the archipelago? Almost 360 degrees of the archipelago. It is 2.2 million square kilometers. 2.2 million square kilometers. How big is 2.2 million square kilometers? Quezon City, which is the largest city in Metro Manila, is about 150 square kilometers. That is how big 2.2 million is. Imagine, ilang 100 times yan, no? Ganyan. Lahat ng isda nito, lahat ng natural resources, atin, tayo lang pwede gumamit. Ang China, mahina na ang light dito, ano? Ang China is 877 square kilometers only. Kaya inggit na inggit sa atin ang China. Yeah, kaya yan ang inggit nila sa atin, no? So, what is inside the exclusive economic zone? Well, siyempre, isda, abundant fish, and other marine resources. What else? Oil and natural gas deposits. A lot of oil. Andyan yung Malampaya, yung Reed Bank is inside our exclusive economic zone. Dapat ang oil dyan, atin. Coral Reef area. Of course, pag may coral reef, pero may isda rin. And of late, they've discovered that sa baba, merong mga tinatawag na combustible ice. Combustible ice sa ilalim. Ito tinatawag na methane hydrates sa ilalim yan. Energy. Thank you. Energy yan, no? Na-discover na sa ilalim dito, merong mga tinatawag na methane hydrates. Alam niyo yung methane? Yan yung nagagaling sa dumi ng baka, dumi ng tao, natural gas that can be used for energy. Na-discover sa ilalim pala, ang dami niyan. And they discovered that out there in the sea is a lot of methane hydrate source of energy. Mahirap pang extract ngayon because of technological limitations. But eventually, mankind will discover how to extract that and how to harness that. Maraming bansa na ang nagtatrabaho dyan, China, US, Japan. Ang gandang balita sana, 2.2 million square kilometers of exclusive economic zone. But the values, biglang pumasok ang China with their 9-dash line. Of course, nung pa ito, no? Without any legal, any historical basis. Ito ang 9-dash line. Sabihin ko ng exclusive economic zone. Under the UNCLOS, ito. Ito dapat ang ating exclusive economic zone, itong blue line na ito. Ito, sa Philippines. Ito yung sa Malaysia, ito yung Brunei, ito yung Malaysia ulit. Ito naman yung Vietnam. Ito ang China dapat, ito lang China. But, nag-declare sila ng tinatawag nilang baseless 9-dash line, itong red line na ito. Nakita niyo, pumasok sa loob ng EEZ, we call that EEZ, internationally, foreign service students kayo, internationally they pronounce that EEZ, and that is the international pronunciation. Para hindi nakakalito yung letter Z, EEZ. So, ang EEZ natin, pinasok ng China. And this 9-dash line claims about 90% of our exclusive economic zone. At hindi lang sinasabi ng exclusive economic zone, sabi nila, territorial sea daw nila ito. Imagine, hindi lang sovereign rights, but sovereignty ang kanilang claim. But their southernmost territory is Hainan. But they're extending up to about 1,000 nautical miles when they're entitled only to 200 nautical miles. Yan ang China. And that is our problem right now. And it will be your problem in the future. That's why we need to solve that. Even before your turn, baka isa sa inyo maging Secretary of Foreign Affairs eventually. I hope by the time na one of you will become the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, tapos na ang problema natin ito. Na-resolve na in our favor. Anyway, what is China? Ito ang mischief brief, no? It is within our exclusive economic zone, about 130 nautical miles. Remember, 200 ang exclusive economic zone. From Palawan, this is only about 130 nautical miles from Palawan. Bigla silang na-discover natin, nagpagawa sila ng temporary structures daw. We complained, this was in 1994, 1995, and we complained. So sabi ng Chinese government, also their ambassador here, don't worry about this. This is only temporary. This is for the shelter of our fishermen in the area. Your fishermen can also use this. So it quieted down. I was in Congress that time. I stood up and complained about this and issued a warning. 1994 yan. 1999, ito na. Biglang lumaki. Sabi nilang temporary, naging permanent. In fact, even before this construction was finished, I went there in that area because I heard about the construction ongoing. I boarded a C-130. Lumapit kami up to about 500 feet above it. And I saw, together with Congressman Dana Rohrabacher of the United States, nakita namin yung construction going on. And I stood up in Congress and I gave a warning. Ayan na, ginagawa na nila ang construction doon. Of course, ang outcome ito, by 1999-2000, ito na yung tinatawag ng temporary structure, which is even bigger than some of the municipios in Cavite. Ganyan kalaki itong temporary. So ito ang mga structures nila, no? Ito yung mischief creek dito banda. Ito yung Palawan. Dito banda yung ating exclusive economic zone. Tapos marami pa silang ginawa at mamaya I'll talk about them some more. Now, what are their activities of China? Ito, nagkaroon sila ng maraming massive reclamation. Ito dating mischief reef. Dati nakalubog ito. 2012. Tubig lang yan. Plus, andito yung structure nila. Maliit na structure. And then 2015, nakita natin yung massive reclamation going on dito sa mischief reef. And finally, ito na. Ang mischief reef. And you know how big this is? Ito ang master plan nila, no? Meron ng runway dito. Gagawa sila ng mga building. Ito, lalagyan ng mga docks dito. Some other facilities for energy, etc. And we found out that they have early warning air defense radar. Merong runway. A 3,000-meter runway, 3-kilometer runway. Longer than the runway in Sangley Point in Cavite. Kasi ito pa yung mga iba-ibang lugar sa no? Mamaya, I'll talk about them. And then, China grabbed Scarborough Shoal in April 2012. I issued a warning on this, 1999. I stood up in Congress and delivered a privileged speech and I said, China is eyeing Scarborough Shoal. Nobody listened to me and they said I was being an alarmist. A few years after, April 2012, ito na, pinasok nila ang Scarborough Shoal. And where is Scarborough Shoal? Scarborough Shoal is here. This is Zambales. It's only about 130 nautical miles from Zambales and about 700 nautical miles from China. I'll show you a better picture of that. Now, under our Constitution, it is the duty of the state to protect the nation's marine wealth and in its archipelagic waters, territorial sea, exclusive economic zone, and reserves its use and enjoyment exclusively to Filipino citizens. When that happened, when they seized Scarborough Shoal,